Let's fight. Welcome, guys. Let's fight. Flashback Friday. Welcome in the ring, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, at home here in Guyana, in the Caribbean, internationally, our peeps in the diaspora. Let's fight. Good to have each and every one of you on with us. I'm making sure I have all my devices at my hand reach, and I'm encouraging you guys to share the live stream this evening, share to Facebook, share to YouTube, share to uh, Instagram, tag a friend, tag a frenemy. Folks, subscribe on YouTube, share on Facebook, retweet on Twitter. And we're happy to have all of you here with us today. Happy to have all of you guys here with us today. And tonight, final program for the week. And again, we're happy to have you with us. I'm making sure I tag a friend right now. I tag a friend right now. Right now. I'm going to tag somebody, and I am going to share as well. Yeah, I'm going to share as well. 1 second, folks. Taking a second to share. Taking a second to share. Give me back Bartika. How is Bartika doing this evening? So good to see all of you. Wherever you're joining us from, guys, tag a friend, give us a share on Facebook, give us a retweet on Twitter, subscribe to our channel. Those of you who are joining us on YouTube, and we want to see the comments, we're going to give you guys a shout out. Tell us where you're joining us from this evening. And we are ready to go, guys. I am ready with the hot topics. I have a guest who's going to be with me this evening, and lots to share with you. Lots to share with you guys. Lots to share. Lots and lots and lots to share. Right? Lots to share. how are you guys doing? Oh my Lord, I just dropped my phone. I saw something so exciting. I dropped my phone. Folks, I hope nobody bites y'all this week. Hope nobody pull off y'all wig and throw it overboard. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Good. Broke men, how are you doing out there? How are the broke men tonight? You gotta stay behind. We're moving forward, but the broke people will have to stay behind. Good to have Maureen Joe with us tonight. Good to have GT Black Gold from North Rhineville, last entrance. I think that last entrance is called Christiani Street, if I remember correctly. Right? Last entrance is the colloquial name, because there's where the buses go and turn back. So we call it last entrance when you go into South Rhineville Gardens in the suburbs of Georgetown. But I think the name of that street is Christiani Street. But you guys know, we know it as last entrance. Good to see you there, GT Black Gold in last entrance. Cecil Ogle, good to have you with us. Marla Alicock. Claudette Henry. Oh God, I thought it was the other Claudette. I hope this is a good Claudette. I hope Claudette Henry is a good Claudette, because them Claudettes swinging now. All right. Kim Walker. Lynette Zephyr's here. Good to see you, Lynette. Good to see you. Natasha Singh and Earl. Where's Earl? Earl disappeared. Hollis London and Rhonda Lane. Good to have all of you guys with us this evening. Guys, let me pick up. Give me a second. The phone fell, right? That's the phrase I say. That's the phrase I saw, right? Broke men gotta stay behind. How you guys doing out there? How are the broke guys? You're probably lonely tonight, Friday night. No money for little ice cream. No money for little popcorn. No money for hot dog. Yeah. No money for little Hershey's chocolate. A kiss even. Much more the Cadbury. Broke men gotta stay behind, folks. Good to have all. Who know? Who know? Dennis Michelin Region 1. No, sorry. Dennis Michelin Region 11. That's the diaspora, folks. In Region 11. Good to see you, Denise. Is it flooded where you are? Probably flooded with snow or high winds or something like that. Good to have all of you guys. Shelly Ferreira. All of these rich people named Ferreira. And Coretta Braffett or Braithwaite. Good to see you. Lyndon in the house. Good to see you, Coretta. Good to have you. I've been watching your works with the flood relief there. Good to have you guys. Melissa Barnwell, Tapping, Bradford. Melissa, when you learn to call all these names, man, you learn about 13 names. Melissa Barnwell, Tapping, Bradford, Huh? Gitanjali Prasad. Gitanjali said, Gitanjali said, Redobon in the rain. Redobon is problems, you know. Old car, old stove, and Redobon, right? Old car, old stove, and red oman, right? Old car, old stove, and red one. You know, I have a colleague who is telling me under the PPP, all men will be left behind. Folks, we cannot be left behind at all. We got to forward ever, backward never. No behind, folks. No behind at all. I good to see Rowena Williams and Claire and Andy, Nasha Copperbash. Good to see you too. Emily. Good to see you, Emily. Rowena Williams again. Folks, we're moving forward. I only want to do it forward, people, you know. Only forward people. No behind people. No behind people at all. Guys, I hope you got at least a 15,000 in your pocket. Once you have 15,000 in your pocket, you are right. Good to go. Abiola Murray, good to see you. Donna Liverpool. J. Sean Campbell. Raphael, good to see Raphael is there. I see Eagle Eyes. Watching we. The Duppy. Is it Duppy? All kinds of names. So guys, you gotta watch these screen names, you know. Y'all gotta watch these screen names. Perhaps you're hiding from your employers, hiding from the people you all owe money to, all kinds of things. Right? That's why you got all these funny names. But don't come wrong with funny. Right? Don't come wrong with funny. Right? Folks, the word on the ground is that only the PPP, all men gonna be broke. All men gonna be broke under the PPP. The PPP want to keep us behind, but we gotta move forward, folks. Forward ever, backward never. We ain't staying behind. Who know, no. Don't say 40. Who know, no, folks. It's 15,000 up. Don't say 40. Right? It's 15,000 up. Only the PPP, that's the word in the street. All men will be left behind. Nothing doing. Forward ever. Backward never. Guys, I am ready to go with the hot topics. All kind of people. Colleen Isaacs watching. Everybody watching. Right? Monique Blair says 15,000 got no value in the shop now. It depends where you're living, apparently. Colleen. It depends on where you're living. You understand me? It depends on where you're living, right? But we don't want you guys to be left behind at all. We don't want you guys to be left behind at all. So stay with us, folks. I'm ready with the hot topics. I don't know about y'all, but I am ready to go. I'm ready to go, folks. Oh my Lord, I'm ready to go. Am I? Am I? Oh my Lord, I am. Give me a second. If it's not the phone falling down, my notes are far from me. Guys, you know it's Friday. You ever see anybody on CNN say, give me a second. Oh, Father. Folks, them same folks on CNN and so on, and NBC and ABC talk some wrong English 1 or 2 times. Let me let you know. Don't come wrong with funny. Those same guys, 1 and 2 wrong English. Sometimes they go off script. So y'all don't come wrong with funny. Don't come wrong with funny at all. So I'm just ensuring I got my notes. I got my notes set. I don't want a bad name from you guys. Right? Just in case you all think that I'm lying. Could you guys see this? I have to have my notes. I a big youth, so I got a big tablet. Apologies. Just ensure I have my notes set up, folks. All right. I think I have my notes set. So guys, first up, let's talk about some local international news. We're going local, but we're international. So again, welcome to all of those persons who are joining us. It's a good point to give a shout out to those persons who are those persons, plural, who are joining us from region 11 in the diaspora. Good to have each and every one of you with us. Where are you guys joining us from? A lot of people join us from Barbados. When we look behind, right? We see a lot of folks joining us from Barbados, a lot of persons from Canada, from the USA, persons joining us from Europe, and we are so privileged. We're so privileged. So let's start with some local but international news, folks. We have a new British High Commissioner we have a new British High Commissioner, and she is none other than Jane Miller. Jane Miller, and she will be joining the High Commission here in Georgetown sometime in July. It was announced just today, sometime in July, and she will be replacing Greg Quinn. She will be replacing Greg Quinn. And as you know, Greg Quinn came here and he sampled our food. He sampled a lot of the meats, and he liked a couple of them too. And you know, he nearly put himself in trouble. And some say that is part of the reason Greg was pulled out of here. Greg sampled the lava and the black water. He didn't want to go back. He didn't want to go back, but the Queen wasn't having it. Queen said, Greg, you better come or you're gonna be left behind. Right? So Greg had to choose. Right? Greg sampled a lot of the meats. Right? Some from the PPP pot. Right? Some from the PPP cup. He sampled some of those meats. Right? And he probably liked them. Right? So Greg got a little distracted there, overeat. Eat till he get colic. So we have now a new British High Commissioner. I hope she's a different woman. I hope so. I hope so. Jane Miller, and we welcome Jane to our to this jurisdiction. And Jane wants you to stay on the right side of the law. We good. We good. Don't make a guy come in front of with a placard day one, you know, Jane. Right? So that's what you're ready. All right. The rest you can be left behind. Folks, good to see each and every one of you. And this is what Jane's look like. Jane here, a little thingish though, but we can take shit as is. We don't pick and choose. We are equal opportunity employers. Right? We can tuck Jane in nice in one of them salons locally and fix you up nice. It's only for name they got the salon place again. Yeah, we can fix Jane up. You don't worry. Jane, you don't worry. We got you, girl. We got you. So Jane is coming. Jane is going to be joining us in mid-July. And we're going to give Jane some little pepper pot and a little bread, a little cook up, a little curry and roti and stuff. We're going to fix Jane real nice. Real nice. You understand me? Real nice. And we got tackle Jane before Sarah tackle Shay. Because you know it's total confusion nonsense. Confusion powder. Folks, turning our attention now to some PPP corruption in full swing. PPP corruption in full swing, peoples. Right? Full swing. So we have confirmed an early report that there is some skullduggery that was what uncovered in Region 9. A Region 9 official walk away with the whole payroll for the region, you know. A PPP fellow walk away with the whole payroll for the region. You think the easy? Right? So the report says that the Region 9 District Development Officer, the DDO, right? He's being accused of embezzling more than $800,000 after several employees of the Aishalton District complained that they had not received their salaries. The man mistake things so hard. Things so hard. DDO, typical PPP, fetch away all the money. Right? So the DDO has been apprehended. He was apprehended on the trail coming out of the Lethem area there. And now he is where he rightfully belongs, behind bars. Behind bars. And had he gone behind bars a couple of days early, he might have had Ganja Saturday here. Sookdeo, Ganja Sookdeo, with some of the high grade stuff. Because this was a data entry clerk from the reports that we have who was recently apprehended, Mr. Joshua Sookdeo, 22 years old, and he's ensuring that he got ganja in an Ensure bottle to traffic in the prison system. You understand me? So I know if it's ganja money cut the hairs and neat, right? I know if it's ganja money buy the shirt. Could be ganja money got a wall painted and all. You don't know, right? But here is young Joshua Sookdeo, right? Pushing drugs, selling marijuana. He got his own marijuana factory happening, right? So instead of Ensure to boost you up, the man got ganja in Ensure bottle, right? Now you look at Joshua's face there. I'm certain, I've said this before, that Joshua parents look at Joshua and say, Joshua gonna do medicine when he grow up, right? Joshua gonna be a pharmacist. He can sell drugs. He can be a pharmacist. Little do they know. Little do they know, right? Little do they know. Joshua doing the other stuff. Can you imagine Joshua mother? So this boy can sell drugs when he grow up. He can be a pharmacist. She didn't know. She didn't know. Right now, Joshua's gonna be behind bars. He was placed recently on $50,000 bail. He appeared at the vigilance court apparently early on today, and he was placed on $50,000 bail. It should have been higher. It should have been higher. Better was expected of Joshua, I sure. Right? The people expect Joshua to be a pharmacist. No, 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 no. Joshua wasn't having it. Joshua doing the other stuff. So there we have the region health official, the region official, region 9 official. There again, Mr. the regional district development officer, the DDO, region 9, embezzling the people money, the taxpayers' money to pay the staff there in Region 9. And then now we got young Joshua Sookdeo. Folks, I want a photograph of this young man from the region. I want his name and I want a photograph from Region 9. And I know you folks are going to help us. I want the name and the face of the scam from Region 9, PPP scam from Region 9. That being said, we saw this photograph early on today. Now, the Guyana Police Force, folks, we've talked about this several times. You understand me? The Guyana Police Force 1 inch outside of that. 1 inch. You understand me? So folks were alarmed, but I've seen this for quite a long time now, right? Police crest is written at the back of the vest, the protective vest. I don't know if it's a bulletproof vest. I can't say if it's a bulletproof vest. You understand me? The protective vest that the policeman is wearing. They buy these vests or they have them donated, and they don't even have the time to put the police force crest, the logo, the emblem on the vest. So they just left the word police crest. So when you see that word, you got to imagine. You got to imagine what you're watching out there. I already have my guest with me. I see we have Antigua in the house. Antigua, how you guys are doing? I love Antigua. I love Antigua. Lived there for a little while. Lived in Casada Gardens there. Love Shirley Heights. Love English Harbor. All of those beautiful places there. So shout out to all the people in Antigua. I hope Gavson Brown got you all looking good there, and all of our Guyanese in that diaspora there in Antigua. Shout out to all of you guys. Let me hasten through these topics, folks. We are still keeping our eyes on this flood, this national flood. It is by no means over, and just yesterday, the installed prime minister, who was sleeping many times during the sitting of the National Assembly yesterday, because they don't have the stamina. The people don't have the stamina. Halfway through, Anil sleeping, Gail sleeping, the PM sleeping. They don't have the stamina for this work. But according to their figures, and I think this is a conservative number, 30,000 households are affected. And they went on to state from there that not only are these 30,000 households affected, but there are also people who are suffering because of food shortages. There are lots and lots of folks who are suffering because of food shortages. And so we are monitoring that, and we're going to touch a little bit more on that before our program concludes, because as I said, from all indications, this is a very conservative number. This 30,000, we believe, is way higher than that. And that being said, I know a lot of persons are very concerned. You're seeing helicopter flying overhead. You're seeing soldiers. You're seeing big airplanes at Charlie Dragon. No, Biden and sent to get them out yet. Hold on. Don't rush your brush. It's not that Biden sent to get them out. There are other things happening, and I want to show you some of that, what people have been seeing.
And more tank sir. Yes, all are coming in one plane. Gonna line up ay.
That is a little bit about what is transpiring, we want to give you some context to that. Again, I say it's not that Biden sent the people here to get rid of this install bunch. So hold on, that's going to happen. You hold, right? What is actually happening, according to the Guyana Defense Force, is that they are saying that members of the public are hereby advised not to panic or become alarmed by the sight of helicopters into Mary, Georgetown, Bartica, Linden, as this is part of a current multinational security exercise being hosted in Guyana. The release goes on to say that during the exercise, there will also be the movement of military exercise personnel in a few communities. The participating nations are Belize, Bermuda, Bahamas, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, France, Mexico, the Netherlands, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and the United States. And the host country is Guyana. So, of course, you're going to be seeing some more of that. The Guyana Defense Force assures the public that their safety and security will be of highest consideration during this exercise. And folks, we hope that they can help us to bail out some of this water as well. And with that, I want to welcome my guests for the evening, none other than Member of Parliament, the Right Honorable Ganesh Mahipaul. Welcome, sir.
Good night, Sherrod, and good night to everyone that is on the ringside.
So Ganesh, you end up in the speaker's cross here recently because you had the gumption, you had the belly to bring a motion on this flood situation because you care about the flood and you care about the people who are punishing. The coalition cares, and you had the temerity and the gumption, as I said, to bring a motion, right, to give clarity to this situation. So set it up for us in context.
All right, thank you very much. First of all, the parliament is guided by a series of rules, and you have an agenda that you call the order paper. And the order paper comes out 6 days, well, it should come out 6 days before parliament. And on the order paper, there are different agenda items. One of the agenda item is a request for leave of the assembly on a matter of urgent, definite public importance. And that is where you are allowed or permitted as members of parliament to stand and request leave of the National Assembly. But before you stand and request leave of the National Assembly, you must first submit before 10 a.m. if the sitting is at 2 o'clock, 2 in the afternoon. You must submit before 10 a.m. on the day of the sitting your letter of request, and it must be accompanied by a motion to verify your letter of request and to add to your letter of request. I satisfied that criteria because I sent in my letter of request since the day before, which was the 9th of June 2021. And my letter was crystal clear. It said, reference to Standing Order 12.2, I wish to seek your permission to request leave to move the adjournment of the Assembly at Thursday's sitting of the National Assembly to discuss a definite matter of urgent public importance, to wit, the present flood disaster, which has been described by His Excellency President Irfan Ali as the worst natural disaster in our nation's history. People's livelihoods have been disrupted, properties are damaged, livestock and other animals died, while many are displaced. There is widespread devastation across the regions of our country caused by the current floods. In my humble opinion, there is need for the establishment of a national relief program, which is aimed at bringing assistance and comfort to all who have suffered as a result of this disaster, and to plan with the aim of mitigating the negative impacts of such floods in the future. There is a widespread and strong view that the above matter qualifies as definite, urgent, and of public importance. The definite nature of this matter can be deciphered from complaints made by people all across Guyana, which is also reflected in the numerous media coverage on flood affected areas across Guyana. Its urgency is directly related to the serious threat that it poses to the preservation of life and the need to rehabilitate national infrastructure and to provide assistance for citizens who are suffering at the moment as a result of this dangerous flood. You would therefore agree that this matter is undoubtedly of public importance. The flood disaster is not yet over. People are still suffering in various ways, and in the opinion of several Guyanese, there is need for a coherent national response involving all stakeholders to deal with this situation and surmount the problems that confront our nation. In light of the foregoing, I anticipate your favorable consideration of this matter of national importance. So this was the letter that I submitted to the Honorable Speaker, and I accompanied it with a motion that had several whereas clauses. And I also outlined, and I will not go through the entire motion, but there's one particular whereas clause I wish to mention, and that is, whereas the communities that were affected and deliberately neglected by the People's Progressive Party administration includes villages along the Barama River and within the Northwest District, Kariako, Kokorit, and Chinese Landing, Rekdozi in the La Parfait Harmony area, Good Fortune Roadside, Karasabai, Surama, Burma, Perth, and a number of other villages on the west coast of Berbice, the east coast of Berbice, Demerara, and Essequibo. So those are villages, Mr. Duncan, that were never visited by the Civil Defense Commission, but they were heavily affected by the flooding. So without a doubt, that number that the Prime Minister spoke of and Civil Defense Commission referencing 30,000 households being affected is not only a conservative number, but I believe it is a lie to the public. More Guyanese than that are affected, and the government does not want to accept that they cannot control and contain this disaster which they created. But the be it resolved clause, the be it resolved clauses are more important in the interest of accountability, because we as members of parliament have that responsibility to ensure that the government does not spend our money in a wasteful manner, and more so, they do not thief the money. And knowing the People's Progressive Party for what they are capable of and what they have shown us they can do, which they did for 23 years in government, I deliberately had the be it resolved clause saying that this National Assembly calls on the government to present a report on the present flood situation to the National Assembly, detailing all actions taken, the extent of the damage caused, the proposed action, and the expenditure required to undertake the proposed work. I also ask for the government to present to the National Assembly a report on the distribution of money and other flood relief items, including the beneficiaries that have so far received assistance and the plan to assist those who have not received assistance as yet. I also ask that the government presents to the National Assembly an account of the donations received and how the said donations were utilized. Perhaps the most important part of this motion was calling on the government to involve the Auditor General so that he can audit the expenditure that was made in this publicized relief effort that they're trying to put forward as their address to this flood situation. But what shocked me is that after all of that effort and after all of that debating, I would say, in terms of putting your case to the judge, so to speak, Manzoor Nadir, the unbiased, the the fair speaker, the good speaker, the speaker that is better than all the rest that we've ever had. After putting all of this argument to him, the speaker ruled that the request is not urgent.
So
Now,
Ganesh,
I don't know.
Ganesh, hold a second there. So we have the motion, we have your letter, a very substantive motion that seeks to get to the anatomy of what the government is doing in response to the flood and to give some guidance on moving forward. So we have that. Let's show the public some of what we saw in the National Assembly yesterday, and some of what they might have missed. And folks, I got my popcorn, I'm a cokes. I got it ready. So, Ganesh, let's take a look at what transpired yesterday with your motion, and then we're going to come back and I want you to give some clarity to it and perhaps even expand on it.
Request for leave to move the adjournment matters of urgent public importance.
The Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipaul.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I must say, I am shocked. I am seeking permission to adjourn on a definite matter of urgent public importance, and that has to do with the flood situation that is currently going on in Guyana. Sir, the unfortunate situation is a number of persons are affected by this flooding, and I believe strongly, sir, that the negligence on the part of government has contributed to this devastation that our people are faced with. Sir, the APNU AFC during the period 2015 to 2020 had a regional disaster risk management committee set up in all 10 regions. And their duty was primarily to prepare for these floods. But unfortunately, those disaster risk management committees are no longer in place. So I want to first of all call on the government to re-establish.
Honorable Member, the issue of raising a motion on this particular heading has to do with three matters: definite, urgency, and public importance. And as a matter of courtesy, the Speaker would allow a brief statement to justify why the mover would want to move such a motion onto this particular head. So I would like for you to confine your comments to the issue of urgency, the other issue of public importance, and the definitiveness of the situation you are dealing with.
Sir, reference to Standing Order 12.2, I wish to seek your permission to request leave to move the adjournment of the Assembly to discuss a matter of definite, urgent public importance to which the present flood situation, which has been described by His Excellency President Irfan Ali as the worst natural disaster in our nation's history. People's livelihood has been disrupted, properties are damaged, Livestock and other animals died, while many are displaced. There is widespread devastation across the regions of our country caused by the current floods. In my humble opinion, there is need for the establishment of a national relief program, which is aimed at bringing assistance and comfort to all who have suffered as a result of this disaster, to plan with the aim of mitigating the negative impacts of such floods in the future. There is a wide
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Would you allow me to now make my decision, please? Yes. Honorable members, this is not the first time that we have arrived at this position, unfortunately. But the issue of the motion that has been raised, as we have said earlier, and the Honorable Member has said also, is definite, urgent, and public importance. And we have many references to judge by, including rulings of the speakers. In our standing orders, you will find such a ruling in one of the appendices. But I will read the references here. First, there is no doubt that we have floods. The definitiveness of what has been described is on the ground. The second issue there, it is of public importance. And His Excellency, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Member, has mentioned the amount of persons affected. The issue here is urgency. Urgency. And in relation to the issue of urgency, the matter must be, it is said, of recent occurrence and raised without delay. In this regard, Erskine May states on page 386, the fact that a grievance is continuing is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. I refer to the fact that the events, I also refer to parliamentary procedure by Kashyap. It is stated at page 767 that the matter must have arisen suddenly in a manner of an emergency and should not have arisen over a series of weeks. And so my ruling on this is I cannot allow the motion. There is sufficient time to bring a substantive motion that is dealing with all of the results. There is sufficient time to bring a substantive motion to the House to deal comprehensively with what we are experiencing at this time. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, would you
The Honorable
permit,
Member, Mr. Mahipaul.
thank you, sir. Sir, would you permit me to ask if you would not consider this situation urgent on the basis that it poses a threat to the preservation of life? I'm just asking if you can consider that, or have you considered that in your ruling? The preservation of life for me is under threat, and the APNU AFC believes so
Thank you very
also.
much, Honorable Member. Mr. Clerk.
And
Motion
there
relating to the
and there we
business
have it.
proceedings of the National Assembly.
There we have it. I mean, anybody can judge for themselves. The speaker is out of his mind.
While our people continue to suffer, while water is still in people's homes and communities are inundated, the speaker wants us to bring a more substantive motion. And he's saying that there is time. Well, there is time for more rains too, and more homes will be flooded. And there will not be a comprehensive approach to dealing with the situation because the PPP will continue to skip communities, will continue to go where they think they need to go, and people will continue to suffer. And the speaker, in my humble opinion, will not be bothered. He will still sleep comfortable at nights because I'm guessing he lives in a community that is not flooded. He will continue to receive his substantial salary, and he will continue to sing from the hymn book he's singing, and he will continue to be unbiased. He will continue to be fair. He will continue to be right-minded. He will continue to be the good person he is, and probably the best speaker Guyana has ever had since we became an independent nation.
He is one for the history books, Ganesh. He's one for the history books. Yep,
Yes, the
yep.
best ever. The best ever. And I don't think any coming after him can be better. So he will stay as the best ever. Sharon, it's
quite strangely,
unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
quite strangely, he says to go and bring a substantive motion. Clearly, you couldn't bring it now as urgent, because he clearly said that, you know, it can be urgent occurring over a series of weeks, because we saw this flood coming along. It's only that this government didn't plan for it. And it's almost the identical thing that happened with the motion that David Patterson brought, in the sense that you brought a motion to the National Assembly before a court matter was filed. Now a court matter is filed, and you hold the Assembly as hostage from debating the motion because a court matter was filed months later. Nobody didn't tell this very same fair speaker, right, not to convene the National Assembly, not to convene Parliament, right? They are holding this country hostage.
98 days we went without a parliament. So I don't know when is it that the motion should have been brought. I don't know when is it that these things should have come. But we continue to endure. We continue to stay steadfast. We continue to respect and have the greatest of respect for the unbiased, the fair-minded, the person that is judging this affair, the Speaker of the National Assembly, in the best interest of Guyana. He is judging it in the best interest of Guyana. And right now, the best interest of Guyana is not to deal with a motion that speaks to flooding. Because even though flooding is happening, and even though people's homes are inundated, and people's livelihood is disrupted, and there is the threat to the preservation of life, that is not urgent. The Speaker of the National Assembly said it is not urgent. So let people continue to suffer. Let there be a catastrophic outbreak of waterborne diseases. Let there be the people suffer from getting food and food supply. Livelihoods are disrupted. Cattle in trouble. Let that continue to happen. It's not urgent. The Speaker of the National Assembly will rather give way for the Walter Rodney motion. That is more urgent, even though it happened since 1980 or somewhere thereabouts. Very, very unfortunate. But there are other matters.
Yep, and MP, the flood isn't urgent, but they're bringing a supplementary budget Monday for $10 billion. But it's not urgent, but bring it next year.
No, that's what I was going to touch on that secondly, to say that the flood is not urgent, but the request of $10 billion is urgent. Now, the $10 billion that they are requesting is to fix damaged infrastructure that is still currently covered by water, that is still underwater, but it is urgent in this instance when they can come, when the flood is finished, for that 10 billion, you know. The same way how he said, the speaker said, the good speaker, the unbiased speaker, the fair speaker said that the matter is ongoing, the flooding is ongoing, so it can't be categorized as urgent. That's not what he said in the Erskine May, that he read page 300 and something, that because the matter is
Erskine May to be telling me how I should be dealing with a natural disaster, a national disaster in my country. Erskine May probably is dead and gone years now, but Erskine May from the grave is telling me how I must manage my country and my people.
This thing is a sad, sad, sad state we're in, a very, very sad state. I feel the pain of all those people who are suffering from this flood situation. And I guess we have returned to the state that we were in 2005, where selected people will be given billions and millions of dollars And that's the only thing I can sense from coming from this, because the $10 billion is categorized as urgent to fix flood issues, but to put measures in place, to ensure that there is proper accountability for that $10 billion, that is not urgent. When that is supposed to be the primary duty of the National Assembly, holding the government accountable to taxpayers' money. We are in a sad state. We are in a troubled period, and we are headed and guided by a very unbiased, a fair-minded, a right-thinking, and the best of speakers that we've ever had in the National Assembly. And I have to continue to say that, Mr. Duncan, because I don't want the speaker to say that I am trying his case in public, or I'm defaming his character, or I'm bringing him into disrepute in the public. So I want to reiterate, the Speaker of the National Assembly is the best speaker Guyana has, the best speaker Guyana will ever have. And he is very unbiased and very fair. Without a doubt, I say that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And yesterday got better. Yesterday, folks, members of the public, it got better. When you think it couldn't get better, it got better time and time and time again. Because this is the Minister now of Natural Resources in a national flood. When we have said, and it is in law, the importance of mangroves to our country, a protected species of plant, right? This is how a Minister of Natural Resources view mangrove and the removal of the mangroves in Region 3, where MP Mahipaul hails from. Listen to the grandstanding of the minister, the installed Minister of Natural Resources, and then listen to his asininity. Listen to him.
We have already started to address the emission level and to ensure that we remain as a carbon sink through our LCDS program. LCDS and not Green State strategy. We already have a project that will start very soon to reclaim and to reforest 600 acres of land in Region 10. In Region 10, the Gas to Shore project. The Gas to Shore project will reduce our emission because we won't be using the heavy fuel that we are using presently at GPL, at Kingston. The Gas to Shore project will significantly reduce our emission. Our energy mixes will reduce our emission. So when we come to the National Assembly and talk about a few mangroves, and you know, we grandstand that, oh, we love our environment so much. We love our environment so much.
MP Mahipaul, a few mangroves.
Seems not to know, the Minister of Natural Resources seems not to know what is happening. He is in lost world, and that's the only best way I can describe him, because the permission that TriStar International sought was to remove 20 acres of mangrove, and instead they removed 48 acres of mangrove. So you asked for permission to remove 20 acres. You went and you removed 48 acres against the laws of this country. If you were granted permission for 48 acres, then I can understand him saying that statement. But you have a company that comes into your country, applies for permission to develop 20 acres of land that will require the removal of 20 acres of mangrove. He presents his work that he wants to do on a PowerPoint presentation. He gives you an overall view of how we will develop the area, and he maintains that he is looking to trouble only 20 acres of the mangrove. You go ahead and you give him that permission with the expectation that he will satisfy certain requirements, which includes involving the community, which includes providing jobs for the young people, which includes staying on course of what you applied for, which is 20 acres. But the situation at hand is that TriStar International, the company, destroyed 48 acres of mangrove, which is an additional 28 acres from what they were requesting. And the minister is saying nothing is wrong with that. The president and his crew
Minister
are
said it's a
saying
few
that
mangroves.
nothing
It's a
is
few.
wrong with that. I didn't hear you, Sherrod.
The minister said it's a few mangroves. It's a few.
Yeah, well, if 48 acres is considered as a few mangroves, and then you see there are a number of other factors that should have been considered. For example, the direction of the tide, the deposit of sediments, the turbulency of the river, the water flow, and whether it's going to be disrupted. All of these things had to be considered. And maybe they were considered for the 20 acres that was requested. But the man went and destroyed 48 acres. And he breached the law. And the People's Progressive Party has no problem with that. We are in the wild, wild west. WWW, wild, wild west. Sad.
And Ganesh, before we go, because I'm looking at program time. Yesterday got better. It got better because we had the installed Minister of Labor who was asked a question on a private company and the COVID numbers there that he should know, who went on to say that COVID ain't got nothing to do with labor, right? As though you don't have occupational health and safety as part of labor. Right? Listen to Joe Hamilton, who has been in Parliament for over 22 years. Listen to the asinity of the PPP installed MP. Listen to
A
him.
dinosaur that has not learned.
All right, listen to him.
From the House. How many Guyanese employees covered in question B and C, if any, contracted COVID-19 during the period 2020 to 2021? Were they negatively affected by non-remittances to NIS contributions?
Honorable Minister.
Again, Mr. Speaker, both questions in that are misdirected.
Honorable
Speaker.
Member Mr. Figuera.
Can the Honorable Minister inform this House if any of those workers at the said company contracted COVID-19?
Mr. Speaker, again, I'm saying that the question is totally misdirected. The Ministry of Labor has nothing to do with health situation in Guyana.
There you have
Honorable
it.
Member Mr. Figuera.
There you have it.
So occupational health and safety of our workers are no longer under the Ministry of Labor, I am guessing. I wonder where it has gone. Probably it has gone to the office of the Prime Minister, because it seems as though the only time he is busy is when there is need for us to pack some hampers and give out a bag of rice here and a bag of rice there. Seems as though he has nothing else to do. And
Correct.
I have
Correct.
also noticed that continuously people of the government would say President Irfan Ali, Vice President Jagdeo, Prime Minister Mark Phillips. Absolutely no respect and regards for Mark Phillips, and I don't know if he has no shame in his face. The Prime Minister of this country is automatically the first Vice President. That is what the Constitution says.
Yeah.
And in any known way of protocol, you would address the President, followed by the Prime Minister, then the Vice President. But these people do not see Mark Phillips as anything of importance.
Yeah. Mark
They
Phillips
see
is a set
him
piece.
as
He is
a
optics.
number.
Nothing more.
He is optics and a number.
Yeah.
Just optics and a number. And he sleeps regularly in the National Assembly, so he finds pleasure and comfort in the seat of the National Assembly that is soft and the
Yeah.
AC is always cold, so he gets some comfort to sleep.
Soon as they come, they fall
Seems
to
to have
sleep because
nothing
they
else
don't
to
have
do.
the stamina for the work.
Exactly,
You know?
they don't have the stamina. But Sharad, before you go, I want to also raise the issue of Nigel Dharamlal and
Yes, go ahead, sir.
installed minister. A number of questions were put to him for him to provide answers. And he said in his answer, refer to the national estimate passed at the 12th sitting of the National Assembly. Now, how do you find the answers in the national estimates when you're asking him to give a breakdown of the sum that is in the estimate? There is no breakdown. You normally
Yeah,
would ask a question to get the breakdown. How is
yeah,
it that you can refer to
yeah,
the national estimate when you're asking for the salaries of the regional
yeah,
chairperson, vice chairpersons, executive officers, mayors, and deputy mayors?
yeah,
It is there
yeah,
in a lump sum.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
questions had to be answered. But this is
Ganesh,
a
you know, when
clear
we say some people
indication,
mentally lazy, people get vexed.
Sharad, this is a clear indication that no, he's not mentally lazy. He is just aloof and ignorant of his job. He does not
Even
see
worse.
himself as a servant. He does
Oh,
not
yeah.
see himself as a servant. He is
Mr.
ignorant
Arrogance.
of what he has to do. Arrogant and ignorant. Ignorant
Yeah,
because had he known what to do, he would have satisfied the answer so that we can say that he is transparent and accountable to the National Assembly.
yeah,
But providing
yeah,
this answer is a clear indication of his arrogance and ignorance. And it
yeah,
further confirms that because
yeah,
they are doing their own thing in the ministry with Prema Rupnarayan as the permanent secretary, that the general should swoop in and he should fly down like an eagle and take the claws and scramble the two of them and audit that entire ministry, because I have no doubt that they're thieving the
yeah,
money. I have
yeah.
no doubt that they're putting the money into their friends and families' pockets. I have no doubt that Designs
I'm in
Unlimited,
agreement with you.
who is this
Yeah,
company, is also engaged in more contracts. I have no doubt to say that he has companies that he's associated with that he is putting millions and billions of dollars in. And you know why I have to make those conclusions? Because what he is authorized and empowered to do, he is not doing. And that is provide information to dispel all doubts. But because he doesn't want to
yeah,
provide the information to dispel the doubts, the assumption is there that they are thieving in that ministry. They are robbing Guyanese, and they are not paying the mayor of Georgetown $75,000 a month.
yeah. Well said. And I agree with all that you have said there on that front. That ministry needs it needs a thorough forensic audit, a very thorough forensic audit. And as we go, folks, I want to give a shout out to some of our young people who have excelled recently both at CAPE and CSEC. All of our students in our country, we want to say congratulations to you. I know CSEC is still, the CXC rather, still releasing some of the information. And all of the students in the Caribbean, we want to say congratulations to you. Our very own Zain Ramatar would have topped CAPE. And also at the CSEC level, we see Bedish Prasad would have topped there. We see some other folks I want to give a shout out to. I think the name is Nairon Sioki Nandan. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I see also Anthony Sukra is one of our top students. Shania Satar is another top student of ours as well. We want to say congratulations to all you guys and continue to do well. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, academically and professionally. Ganesh, your parting words this evening.
Good night to everyone, and more specifically, our unbiased, fair, caring, and best speaker of the National
Oh, yes.
Assembly, Honorable
Oh, yeah.
Manzoor Nadeem.
Yeah, yeah. I read somewhere on the COVID front that somebody who took the first dose of COVID, the first dose of the COVID vaccine, got COVID again. I can't remember exactly where I read it, but on one of the online news sources locally, that someone who would have been vaccinated for the first dose of COVID-19 got COVID again recently. So we're following that, but folks, continue to wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, practice all the other protocols that are in place for your health and safety, those of your friends and your loved ones. See you guys next week, Monday. We're off for the weekend, but I have a brand new show we're starting tomorrow at 12 o'clock. It's called The Whip. And I think Ganesh just might be on with me. It's a half-hour program focused on our parliamentary work specifically. It's called The Whip, and we're going to be pelting lashes from tomorrow. 12 o'clock, right in the same space.
Monday, we're back in Parliament, Sherrod.
Yes. Monday, we're back in Parliament for that 10 billion supplemental budget that they're coming with. That isn't urgent. Because the flood isn't urgent. Folks, have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow for half hour from 12 o'clock right in this space. But have a great weekend on the whole, and see you guys back here on Monday in the ring. Thanks for joining us. Do stay safe. Stay safe, everybody.